Welcome to Souljourner Truth, where we'll find our way home together. I'm Kimberley, and just like you, I want more joy, more peace, more prosperity, and more love in my life. Every episode, we'll examine a soul-stirring question, we'll walk it out with practical, easy-to-manage steps, and then we'll bring it home by integrating and embodying what we've just learned. If you're ready to come home to the best version of yourself, then walk with me. Hello, fellow travelers. It's me, Kimberly, your guide and your host. Today, I want to talk about why you can't hear your soul's whisper. We live in a loud world. There's always something coming at us. Emails, text messages, phone calls, social media content, advertisements everywhere you turn, car horns, music, television, movies, friends, spouses, children, pets. You get the idea? The world is a constant cacophony of sight, sound, thought, and other mind chatter. But if we are constantly filling ourselves up with this type of noise, how can we possibly hear the still, small voice, the whisper of our own soul? Truth is, we can't, and we may never be able to hear it until we consciously begin to cultivate stillness through silence. But cultivating silence isn't as easy as simply sitting in a quiet room or turning notifications off on your phone, because we must first become conscious of what we're consuming. I first came across the concept of unconscious consumption in this book, Silence, by Thich Nhat Hanh, and these teachings have stayed with me ever since. Think about this. We are always consuming something, and it's largely unconscious. But we're not only mindlessly consuming food and drink, we are also constantly taking in sensory nutriments. What we watch, listen to, what we're scrolling on IG, everything our five senses take in. The conversations you engage in, the physical environment you place yourself in, be it a loud, chaotic city or a bucolic park where you commune with the butterflies. And then there's consciousness nutriments. These are our thoughts, what we think, the endless loop of largely untrue stories you tell yourself, the things you rehearse, revisit, and replay in your head that become reinforced as your truth. Your unique set of limiting, again, largely untrue, beliefs. The things we emotionally engage in. So basically, the things you repeatedly think over and over again are what you're feeding your mind. Then third, there are the volition nutriments. Volition is your desire. It's often egoic, like from the ego. That's the thing or the goal you're chasing. It's what your life is oriented around getting, achieving, becoming. And not necessarily because it's your soul's true desire, but because of the way you've been programmed by your parents, your teachers, your culture. It's all the stuff someone else told you to want, and you've been so conditioned for so long that you believe you want it too. And here's a fifth one that Hanh did not discuss, but that I want to add to the list. What about all the mindless buying of stuff nutriment? Do you do this too? All day from Amazon? Clothes and food and doohickeys and other crap that you absolutely absolutely don't really need. I mean, unless, of course, you were building a bomb shelter. We're constantly just trying to fill ourselves up with stuff, useless shit. Like, how many times do you mindlessly purchase something on Amazon each day, on social media, or at the checkout counter at the grocery store? Most of our consumption across these 5 buckets is happening unconsciously, and our nervous systems are eating all of it. I mean, most of us understand conscious eating as a way to keep our weight and health in good standing. But what about conscious consumption of all the other junk we're ingesting? Let's take a moment to integrate this. What are you digesting consciously? What are you digesting unconsciously? And is it truly feeding your soul, or is it consuming it? I know for me, when I became conscious of this dynamic, it changed everything. Every time I caught myself eating something, listening to something, watching something, striving for something, thinking something, or buying something, I asked myself, am I consuming this, or is it consuming me? And after a while, I couldn't enjoy my McDonald's French fries or action movies or Love is Blind or my gossipy conversations with girlfriends the same way anymore. Because once I became conscious and recognized the true cost of all that noise, it suddenly felt so dysregulating to my nervous system. I mean, just thinking about the conversations we involve ourselves in, I used to have a very close girlfriend that I spoke with for hours each day. This friend was obsessed with celebrity culture and would just go on and on about what, I don't know, Kim Kardashian was wearing and how she didn't like her makeup, her clothes, her new boobs, or whatever. Another close girlfriend always had some sky is falling drama to report. Like literally every single conversation would start like this. Hey girl, you are not gonna believe what happened today. And 95% of the time it was something incredibly sad or depressing, and at least 50% of the time, it wasn't even about something in her life. It was someone else's life. So if she didn't have her own drama to report, she had to give me somebody else's. My Lord, these were exhausting conversations. And the cost? While seemingly harmless on the surface, the true cost of ingesting all of that junk and noise was silence. It was stillness. It was my ability to connect to and to hear my soul's whisper. That ability to sit down and meditate and return refreshed rather than frustrated because I couldn't get my mind to settle. So I chose to give up a lot of the noise and junk in my life. Not the friends per se, but the low vibration conversations for sure. The junk food, the trash reality shows, and the quest for the American dream. And what I found in return, in the stillness, in the light of consciousness, was so much more. Better than any temporary happiness I ever received from a large French fry in a red paperboard carton, which was often quickly replaced by overwhelming shame and guilt for making such a poor dietary choice, I found true joy. Joy that is not dependent on circumstance. Joy that rises from the depths of my soul and is interwoven into the very fabric of my being, regardless of what else is going on in my life. I also found peace in my own mind, and that peace comes from that connection with Source that could only come when I got still and silent enough to hear my soul whispering to me. Listen, I'm not saying give up McDonald's and get enlightened, but I am saying get curious and conscious about what you're eating, drinking, watching, listening to, the conversations you're in, what you're buying, the thoughts in your head, all of it. Then get intentional about what you choose to ingest. Because if you can reduce your consumption of the garbage, you will by default be creating space for communion and conversation with your own soul. I don't know, maybe you don't even care about your soul's whisper or about connecting with Source. Maybe that's too far out for you right now, and that's cool. But I do know that you care about experiencing more peace, love, joy, and abundance in your life. And I promise you that if you become conscious about all the things you're consuming, you will get there. I can hear so many of you right now that are on the fence with this one. But Kimberly, these things bring me happiness. You're sucking all the fun out of life. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I love Cristal champagne. It brings me a lot of happiness, but it also brings me a depleted bank account, an inability to get up for work the day after I've consumed it, and dead brain cells. So, look, I'm 100% not saying don't ever consume the nonsense. I mean, if you offered me a glass of Cristal right now, I probably would not turn it down. But I am saying consume it mindfully and in moderation and watch your life change. Does it feel like I'm preaching to you? All right. I'm going to stop now. But if you want to take this one on, here are 2 practices to help you integrate. First, practice observing yourself and being ultra conscious of everything you're consuming. Remember all 5 categories: food and drink, your senses, thought, volition, and the things you buy. If you sit down to meditate tomorrow and you can't slow down, your mind starts jumping from thought to thought, you feel restless, distracted, realize it's probably just because silence feels uncomfortable, because we have been so conditioned to consume unconsciously. And in that environment, it becomes very difficult to be still or to hear anything subtle like the whisper of your soul. That's not a failure on your part, and noticing the pattern is your first step toward doing something about it. You have a choice. So stay conscious this week and observe everything you take in. Is it serving you or consuming you? Second, take 3 days this week and next to take 10 minutes to do nothing. That's right, nothing. Don't meditate, don't watch TV, don't listen to music, don't scroll, don't journal, don't phone a friend. Just sit in silence and do nothing. No thing. And notice what comes up. Notice the urge to reach for something, food, a drink, your phone. Notice the discomfort. Notice the thoughts whizzing around in your head. Do nothing. This is how we begin to see what we've been unconsciously consuming, and this is how we loosen its grip. This is how we cultivate silence. Until then, may your soul's journey be joy-filled and abundantly blessed, and may you shine your light so brightly that it not only illuminates the path for you, but for every being you meet along the way. Namaste.
Thank you so much for walking with me today. And remember, the practice is just practice. So no judgment, only grace. If something cracked you wide open in this episode, or if the universe smacked you with a big old question you just can't answer, I would love to hear about it. Hit me up anytime at traveler@souljournertruth.com. And remember, traveler is 1 L, not 2. Until we walk again, see you next week.